Hey guys, Dr. Frank here, founder of AddictionMindset LLC, and in today's brief video, I want to talk to you about the hands down most important first step you can take when it comes to overcoming nicotine addiction. Now, this applies to someone who smokes cigarettes, someone who vapes, someone who's addicted to chewing tobacco, Zen pouches. It doesn't matter what you're addicted to when it comes to nicotine. This is going to apply. And honestly, this could apply to any addiction. It doesn't really matter what the addiction is. This is an excellent first step. So one of the things that we tell people in our programs that you have to realize is that you're not actually quitting anything. In fact, when it comes to quitting nicotine, I hate the terminology of, oh, I'm going to quit nicotine, because quitting implies that you're giving something up. When you and I both know you're not quitting anything worthwhile, you're not giving up anything worthwhile. You're not making a sacrifice. You're simply stopping doing something that you no longer want to do. If you don't want to do something anymore, yet you continue doing it, that causes lots of pain, that causes lots of anxiety, that causes lots of hurt. So you and I both know that. You're watching this video because you don't want to be using nicotine anymore. You realize that's a waste of time, a waste of money, a waste of energy, a waste of your motivation, a waste of your focus. Think of nicotine as a really, really crappy investment. It's an investment that you don't want to be making anymore. So, the number one thing you can do when it comes to quitting is set up goals for yourself. So yes, of course, we have the goal for you to quit, but I want to have a bigger picture goal. What is it that you want to work towards? Are you trying to land a new job? Are you trying to save up money for a trip? Are you trying to invest in something better for yourself? Are you quitting for your kids? Are you quitting for your family? Which is always a good reason, but ultimately the top reasons why you quit should always be for yourself. I mean, if you're quitting because of a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a family member and you don't really want to quit, the chances of having long-term success are very limited. But let me give you an example. When I quit, I took my top 7 goals in life. So I had the goal of eventually coaching people on substance abuse. I had the goal of expanding my chiropractic practices. I had the goal of getting married one day and being able to take good care of my wife and hopefully eventually take good care of kids if you were fortunate enough to have children in our marriage. So I have these goals, and those are big picture goals. I have a goal of where I want to have a house. I have a goal of where I want to send my kids to school. I have a goal of the financial opportunities I want to be able to offer my family one day. I have these goals, but I have small goals too. I have a goal of what types of exercises I want to complete in the gym. I have a goal of how many YouTube views I want to get, how many TikTok followers I want to pick up in a day. I have a goal of how many schools I want to speak at. I'm constantly setting new goals. So in the past, early on when I was quitting nicotine, when I would get a craving, and I always say a craving is an obsession, it's an obsessive thought. How can I get nicotine? How can I use nicotine? That's what a craving actually is. It's an obsession. I would take that obsession, I would take that craving, and I would redirect it towards working on my life goals. One of those top 7 goals. Now, if you're part of our program, you know we ask you to make your macro goals, a large list of big picture goals, and then you make a smaller list of micro goals that you need to accomplish to achieve those big picture goals. So what do I need to do to be able to afford a house in the neighborhood that I eventually want for my family? Well, I need to make X amount of money. How do I make X amount of money? Well, I need to pick up X amount of coaching clients when it comes to quitting nicotine, or pick up this many speaking engagements, whatever it may be. How do I make that money? How do I pick up those clients? I have to put out more YouTube videos. I have to put out more TikToks. I have to land more contracts with schools. So you can see how each of those little goals, things that I can obsess over, things that I can redirect my addiction urges towards, if I can redirect those urges towards those micro goals, I can eventually accomplish those macro big picture goals. So for me, quitting nicotine actually had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with quitting. but it had everything to do with accomplishing a series of things that I wanted to accomplish in my life. And people ask, how do you stay sober long term from nicotine? It's constantly resetting new goals. That's what works for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for everyone, but I do believe that most people who have an addiction, they are very, very driven individuals. They're extremely determined individuals, and they're very obsessed individuals. The problem is they're obsessed with all of the wrong things in life. So keep that in mind. If you could redirect that obsession, that passion, and put it into something valuable like your health or your finances or your relationships or your faith, whatever it is that you find valuable, I think you would be ready to accomplish some pretty incredible things. So my first tip to anyone trying to quit nicotine, hands down, it's not about quitting, it's about accomplishing things in life. And what are the things you want to accomplish? And people ask me, because as I've talked about in other videos, it takes a full year for your brain to fully recover. It's an easy year. It's not a painful year of withdrawals or anything like that, but it takes a full year for your brain to recover. And people ask me, how do I know I'm recovering from addiction? How do I know I'm getting better? And my response is, as you start to accomplish those goals that we set forth for you, as you start to, damn, you got the new job, you saved up this amount of money, you got married to that person, you were able to financially afford to take 2 weeks off of work because you've reached this amount of income. When I start to see you accomplishing those micro goals and those macro goals, that's how we know that healing has begun. Early on, how do we know that you're beating the addiction, that you're beating this? Quite frankly, the withdrawals. If you're experiencing withdrawals, that's addiction trying to leave your body. That's addiction's last shitty attempt to try and pull you back in. And you're gonna celebrate each and every time you feel those withdrawals, because you now know that you're beating this addiction, you're escaping it. And as you get through the withdrawals, which only last a very short duration of time, you can now navigate the cravings by focusing on your goals. And as you start to accomplish those goals, that's how you know you're healing. That's how you know your brain and the healing process has begun. So my most important first step, write down a list of your goals, guys. Focus on the goals. This isn't about quitting. This is about gaining everything back in life. Stay tuned for more awesome content. We got a lot more to come. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube, and if you want one-on-one coaching where me or a team member will work with you one-on-one to provide you with accountability and the shortcuts to quitting nicotine, feel free to give our offices a call. The number's at the bottom of the screen. We charge $50 for the first call, money back guarantee if you're unsatisfied, and then any call after that is billed at $75. So I look forward to speaking with you. Good luck.